Then she looked at it and she said, "You've cooked all of this, but you didn't even look at the calendar. Today is Ekadashi." But I got to hand it to her in 15 minutes. She, boom, cooked it all without any of my help. So after that, I took a break from cooking. But when we cook, like when you cook a sabji, then you need salt. Then you need turmeric. Then you need chili. If you're Gujarati, you need lots of sugar. Then, you see, each one of these adds something different. The haldi adds some color. The chili adds some spice, heat, kick. The salt is essential, but the salt is always very humble. No one ever eats something and says, "Wow, the salt in this is amazing." But if the salt is not there, then they'll be the first one to flag it up. So there are people in our community, there are individuals who are like haldi. They're very colorful characters. Not just in clothes, in their character. There are some who are like salt. They're very humble, they're very quiet, they're in the background, but their contribution is amazing. There are some who are like sugar. They speak very nicely, sweetly, like Radhakanta Guru. And he is very sweet as well. And there are those who are like chili. Yeah, I don't know in the Radha Govinda Sangha if we have some chilies here. No, I don't think so. All sweet. All sweet. So we are all individuals, and when we relate to people, we have to appreciate that everyone is an individual. Everyone is not like me. We should not try to make people like us and expect people to be like us. This is one of the biggest problems in relationships, because we're seeing everyone Atmavan manyate jagat. We think everyone should be like me, and when they don't relate to me as I'm expecting, then I just think they're a bad person or they're not worth having a relationship. So we should not. We should, like when I go on the plane, you know what seat I go for, right?
Aye.
Yeah, aisle is okay, but I need something more than an aisle with my height. Yeah, I go for the emergency seat. Yeah, without paying for it. I've got my ways, but because you need some space. You need some space. So you know what? Each person in this world needs some space to be themselves. But if we in a relationship choke people and try to make, like a mom and dad once had an argument. The mom was saying, "I want my son to be a lawyer." And so the mom was saying lawyer, and then the dad said, "No, accountant." Lawyer, accountant, lawyer, accountant. So they had a big argument. Then it went to the court. So then it came in front of the judge. He said, "No, lawyer, accountant, lawyer, accountant." And the judge was hearing this. "Well, you're all having this argument. Why don't you just ask your son what he wants to be?" And they looked at him like as though he was crazy. And he said, "But he's not born yet." And the judge said, "Your son is not even born yet. And already you made so many plans for him. And already you're fighting over. Will you let him live his life, or will you try to make him what you want him to be?" This is one of the biggest problems in relationships. Accept who people are. Einstein said, if you convince a fish it has to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking it's a failure. So we will also look at the fish thinking this fish spaced out, it can't do anything. Can't climb a tree, it's simple, So they will think they're a failure, we'll think they're a failure. So this is what we do a lot in life. We look around at everyone around us, and because we're expecting them to be in a certain way, we write them off. So first thing in a relationship is that we have to be very accepting of others. Second thing is that we have to be very trusting. There's no relationship without trust. But you know what happens in the material world is when we begin a relationship with someone, devotee, anyone, not devotee, whoever it may be, at the first sign that something goes wrong, we write them off. We don't trust that maybe there's something behind this. Maybe there's something I don't know about. Let me give them some time to explain, to see what the whole situation is. We're very, very impulsive in relationships, and we don't invest faith and trust. And we jump to conclusions very, very quickly. Like the other day, some months ago, I was on book distribution, so I stopped a man. I was in Oxford. So I stopped a man and I said, I showed him the book, and then he said, this has come at the right time. I just got out of prison yesterday. Okay. So then I said, somehow, I don't know, on the street, your barriers go down and people's barriers go down because they think, like, I'm looking at this person thinking, I'm never going to see him again. They're looking at me thinking, I'm never going to see him again. So you can have a very open conversation. So I said to him, well, how long were you in prison for? I mean, as though you ask for someone who's just come out of prison. But anyway, I just asked him. He said, I was in prison for 5 years. So then I said, what did you do? Somehow it was just coming out. It was a very natural. So he said, one day I was on a night out with my girlfriend and we flagged a taxi down. And he said, so, the taxi went past us, then it slowed down, then it pulled up just in front. So we were walking towards the taxi. And as we were walking towards it, another man came into that taxi. So he probably didn't even know that he just thought there's a taxi there. But anyway, he said something within me just, how this person, I flagged the taxi down, how in front of my girlfriend, he's going to take my taxi. And he became very angry, and he just went up to the person and he just hit him. Anyway, the guy got concussion, whatever it was. He got charged for grievous bodily harm, 5 years in prison. For what? For what? Crazy. I didn't say that to him. I got another 5 years in prison. But it was interesting because I thought sometimes we just jump to conclusions. We don't give people the benefit of the doubt. We see something and I'll read a nice verse to you. I think you might like it. This is from the Niti Shastra. And it shows, when I read this, I could very much relate to this. Because it shows how sometimes, because we have such a fault-finding mentality, even there is something good in someone, we will turn it into something bad. So this is the verse. It's from Niti Shastra. Jadyam rimati ganyate vracharuto dambasucho kaitavam surya nirgrinita mano vimatita denyam priya lapini tejasvinya velaptita mukharata vaktarya shakti sthire tatko nam guno bhavet saguninam yodurjane nankita. So this is explaining how a fault finder sees things. This says someone may be very, very shy, but a fault finder will look at this person and say, this person is dysfunctional, lazy, couldn't really make it in life, doesn't know how to be social. That someone may be very strict in their vows, but a fault finder will look at that person and say, just look at that person. She's so proud. She thinks she's so good. Someone is very clean, and a fault finder will look at them and say, he's a cheater, I think. Externally, he's showing something of cleanliness, but internally, I think something else is going on. Someone may become a renuncier, renounce everything. And a fault finder will look at them and say, he couldn't handle life, he ran away, he escaped, he wasn't responsible. Someone is a good speaker. Then the fault finder will look at the speaker and say, I'm not sure. I think he is just a bookworm. I think he just knows many things, but I don't think he practices it. And then he says, because someone may know this, they may decide that better I just don't do anything, because whatever I do, someone will find a fault in them. So then the person decides, I won't do anything, and then the fault finder comes up to that person and says, what is this guy? This person is useless. He's not even doing anything. So the last line of the verse says, Tat ko nama guno bhavet saguninam yo durjanir nankita. Tell me one good quality which the fault finders have not spoiled. Can you relate to that? I could relate to it. Sometimes there is so much good in people, but we turn it into something bad. There's no trust, we don't invest that faith in them. We write people off very, very quickly. So another principle in having good relationships is that we must be trusting. We must be give people the benefit of the doubt, give time. And the third thing is that if we want to have good relationships, not only should we be accepting, not only should we be trusting, but we should always be investing. Relationships don't come automatically. You have to invest time. You have to invest energy. You have to invest attention. I think actually last time I was here, it was your marriage anniversary. I came on, isn't it? Yeah, see, I remember. And I told that story about how someone in a class asked me, Prabhuji, do you believe in love marriages?